Good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing? Gemma here. Looking a bit tired today. I slept in a camper van last night and I'm trying to get better at that, but it's still a little bit uncomfortable. So yeah, but happy to come here and teach you some crafts. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all enjoying the sun and managing to get out, at least even just in the shade. So yeah, it's funny on a nice hot day like today to be showing you something that we've been actually preparing for our Christmas classes. But you don't just have to use it for Christmas. So I'll show you lots of design ideas. But I'm quite keen, whilst I talk, is to get one of the processes started. Otherwise, I'll have to just sit here in silence whilst I do something. So we're making wire shapes, okay? If you're on Instagram or Pinterest, you'll have seen these things come up a lot. So behind me, I've got some examples here. We've got this balloon with hay in it, which is backwards for you. I've got Gwen, my lovely dog. I've got a little elephant one. I've got Billy, my nephew, in a star. So it's just basically inside all those shapes is some wire, and I'll talk about materials that you need to get hold of in a sec. Like I said, I'm quite keen to show you this little gadget. You don't have to have this, but I think it'll like blow your minds. So I feel like it's worth showing you it, because if you're in the market for a new gadget, you might want to invest in one. So they're like a knitting dolly, which many of you will remember as a child, where they've got like 4 little pins on the top that's going to grab thread, and then out of the bottom is going to grow the rope that you create. So they're by the company Prim, which is Prym, which is the like nice German sewing company. They are about £15. So whether you want to buy one or sit there doing it all manually, but like I said, it's just quite fun. I quite enjoy showing people how to use them, because especially if you've got like grandkids or kids, they definitely will enjoy once they've got it set up. So to set it up, I've got some nice cotton yarn, like a kind of DK, just like a regular thickness wool. Generally, I find the better quality the wool, the better. And there's a little hole in the side, and then there's a little groove at the top. So that's just kind of like how you start the thread off. Then it needs to go down through the little column in the center, and it needs to come out of the bottom there. All right. On the bottom there, I'm going to pop a little knot. Let me just try and show you that. 2 seconds. Let's put it here so it's a bit higher for you. The knot, I want to have like a little loop on it so that I can attach the weight that comes with it in a moment. So I'm just going to do like a little loop. I'm going to pass it through itself, like so, she says. There you go. So I've got a knot near the end, and then I've got that little loop that I can use in a bit. Here's the little weight that's going to go on it. It's pretty weighty, actually. It's pretty heavy. I'm not going to attach it now because it's quite easy for it all to get confused and you end up with miles of thread. So I'm just going to take that knot all the way back to the kind of the opening of the hole, because I don't want that to be mega long, because that weight needs to hang. So if it ends up being like a meter down, you have to stand on a ladder to get it working. Then this always feels a bit confusing, but you only have to do this once and then you're off. Okay, so you've got 4 little hooks on there, and then you're going to catch one. So I'm just going to roll the little handle, and I'm going to catch one of them. Look, catch one. All right, one's been caught. The next one I want to miss, so I don't want it to be caught, so I just put it behind the hook there. The next one I want to catch, and the next one I want to miss. So that's just setting up the machine. I'll just show you close up now what I've done. Tighten it. All right, so it's just gone diagonally. I've caught that one, I've caught that one, I've missed those 2. And just in case you're just joining, you don't have to do all this. I'll tell you about some pre-made rope that you can use. But like I said, I just wanted to show you these lovely little gadgets that we're enjoying at the moment. So now I'm ready to go. So I'm just going to pop the weight on that little loop at the bottom. Just keep a hand on the thread, because sometimes it can kind of like pull it quite far. So I'm just keeping a hand on this so that I don't lose it. It goes pew through. Okay. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this wheel, and it's going to catch. It's just going to do its job now. I've got it set up with it only catching every other one, just for once. Just, oh yeah, off I go. So I must make sure that weight is hanging freely. Okay, I don't want it leaning on the table. Oh, yeah, Frank says he's experienced a really blurry video. I don't know, Frank, I'm fine here, but we did have a little bit of problems with the setup. That it was the lady who introduced me. She was having some problems at her house because there's kind of two of us involved in this. So fingers crossed that isn't causing any problems. I'll keep going for now, but I'll be happy to start again if there is a bit of a technical problem. Hopefully she's seen your message. All right, so all I'm doing is going round and round, 1, 2, and it's catching. I'm just keeping an eye on it, making sure it catches. Sometimes, like that one, there's a few little blobs then, but it's okay. I'm just gonna, sometimes when you start off, it takes a while to warm up. I'm gonna move away from my chair now, because like I said, I want this weight to hang freely. And off I go, just turn, turn, turn. You'll notice every now and then, I just kind of pull the weight straight. What's happening in here, let me try and show you a close-up, is I'm just turning it, it's catching all 4, like so, and then I'm pulling it down. So that little column inside is slowly building up a thread. So I'm going to zoom along so that I have some rope, and let me talk to you about other things that you can use. So if any of you have ever done any macrame, you can just use the kind of the macrame rope. This is just for your regular 5mm rope, just bought stuff. And then also, if any of you do jewelry making, I've got this lovely like 9mm stuff that I just buy. There's companies like Bobini and Billy Bag, and they sell that. They actually sell it in shorter lengths as well. So you can often on Etsy buy little nice colourful packs as well of so 5 or 9mm rope you need. You need the one that's like woven like that. You don't want the one that you use to make like the macrame leaves that you can brush out. That wouldn't work. It needs to basically have like a center in it that you can exchange or fill with wire. So wire-wise, I get this stuff, and this is bonsai wire. So it's that's all I googled, and it's like 2mm thick. I quite like bonsai wire because it's quite nice and soft and malleable by hand. So you'll have a few troubles with this. Sorry, I should just keep going. I keep getting distracted and chatting away, but it'll be fine in a sec. Here we are. Let's just do a little extra bit. Catch, catch, catch. There we go. Oh, I think it's fallen off one of the pins. Just put it down there. Oh. This is how not to do it. Yeah, it's fallen off one of the pins. I'll show you what's being produced. So that little machine has created this little bit of rope now, and let me just pretend I'm going to finish it off. I've had a little bit of a problem. I've had a technical error, and whilst I was chatting, it fell off one of the pins. So it's quite, that's the only problem with it. It's quite hard to go back. So I've just cut it, and I'm just going to wind it through because it's got a bit of a tangle. It'll be a bit mean to me. I did have one that I prepared earlier, but I don't think. I want to just show you how you finish it off. Let me just see if I can do one. No, 2 seconds. Oh, actually, I know I can do. I just cut it off. Good technical. Right. So yeah, on the whole, we do have occasionally a problem, and it's always annoying when it happens when you're actually making a video. But on the whole, it is a good little device, and as long as you concentrate, you'll get a good finish. So when you have finished, you just cut the end and then you just roll it. And then what will come through, you take the weight off, is the end will have 4 little loops like that. By the way, you obviously need a lot longer than that. And what you can do is if you've made a design first, let's say here's some ones left from the class, then you would almost use a piece of string to figure out how long you needed first so that you know how long a piece of rope to make. So you're not making a huge piece and then like putting half of it in the bin. So you got your 4 little loops there. Those are where they've all fallen off the needles because there's no more wool to have. I'm getting a darning needle. Okay, I'll put this down here now, sorry, so you can see it a little better. Here you go. So just getting a darning needle. Like so. I'm just going to go, and then I'm just going to go through those loops. So number 1 there, number 2, find number 3. I pulled them a little tight there. Find a 3. And then find, I think that's number 4 there. There you go. All right, and that sealed that bit of rope off, and now it's safe to do whatever you want. So we, at the studio, we sometimes don't even put wire inside and make little brooches like that, or we use them to do what we're about to do today, is the wire letters. Okay, so I'm back. So design-wise, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Now, because we teach workshops here, we actually go on to things like Etsy and we download files. I wouldn't normally do this if I was doing it at home, but it might give you some inspiration. We do, hearts. What you're looking for is a continuous line, all right? So your bit of wire can't stop. So what I would suggest you do is on a piece of paper, all right, let's say you wanted to do the word love, is you could write it in your best non-stop handwriting, like that, okay? All you get if you buy those instruction things is you get some arrows to help you remember the order in which you write it. But to be honest, if it wasn't for me teaching classes, I would just do them by hand like this, and I would just remember the way that I need to go to write my word. So I had a few arrows so that I know what to do when I've got my wire. Okay, so I'm going to make it in the pre-made stuff because I've already got that because I had a bit of a technical problem. I'm going to just measure the rope to the size here. So I'm just going to come back down to here and I'm going to work out how much of this stuff I need. I'm going to be a little bit generous. I don't want to be caught short. So I'm just quickly writing the word. I'll go a bit over. There you go. So that's my love word there. A little bit extra. Like so. That's also the amount of wire that I need. I do watch some videos where they shape the wire first. I don't really understand the benefit of that. We just fill the wire first, fill the rope, sorry, with the wire, and then we bend it into shape. But by all means, feel free to try the other way. See if you like that way. So that was where they make this wire into the word love, and then they add the rope around it. Okay, I'm just going to use. I'm just going to get some like rubbish scissors because I shouldn't use my good scissors. Probably should use wire cutters really, but all right. So I've got my wire and I've got my rope. So just and then I'm just going to start inserting it. So I've got this 9mm stuff, but you do exactly the same if it was the 5mm stuff or if you'd made your own rope using a fancy little knitting dolly. I said whether or your good old-fashioned knitting dolly. So I'm just sliding it along. There's like the 9mm stuff has a weird like extra bit of rope inside, so you kind of have to push it to one side. You have a little practice with a scrap first, but you'll get there. Just got to push it along. I'm about halfway now. So if anyone remembers making scrunchies, it feels like that. The ends, I'll explain how to do those in a second. Just need a bit of glue for those. Oh, I just left the glue over here. So all the way to the end. Oh, one top tip, actually, this stuff is quite easy to push through, but sometimes with other threads, you might find it easier. So I should have pliers really. Is you can bend over the edge so you have like a softer end to push through. So just, I can't do it with my hands, but just you can bend it over and that makes it a bit easier. This stuff is fine, but that might be a benefit. So all I'm going to do now is a bit like a seam at the end. And I'm just going to do a seam with a bit of glue. So I'm just going to pump a bit of glue inside. I'll just do one end because I may end up changing the length of the other end. I may end up shortening it. So I'm just going to, remember I said there's like an inner. I'm just going to stuff that down out of my way a little. I'm going to pump a bit of glue inside. All right, popped a bit of glue in there. And then I'm just going to fold the ends in. Now, ideally, you'd wait a few minutes for the glue to dry, but I won't make you do that. So I'm just going to go for it. And now, in fact, I could just use something like a peg. Use a peg to seal it there. All right. So back to my love word. So it will be in reverse, but you get the idea. So that peg's kind of in the way. So I'm just going to start where I started writing it, and then I'm just going to follow my handwriting. I'm just using my hands to manipulate the wire. It's quite forgiving, this soft bonsai wire. Just got to watch you're not sitting close to anyone. You don't poke them in the eye. Following it around. So things like the round of a O, just think about where it best goes. I'm actually going to put it behind. I think that would look a bit neater. Then up to my V, pulling it down. If you find your wires a little bit tougher than mine, then you could use a plier to help with the sharp edges, the 90-degree edges. Might be a little bit gentler on your hands. And then making that E. Also can make the letters look a bit more realistic if they've got the right shape, sharp edges. Love. There you go. So I'm just going to trail that off. I think it's a bit too long, so I'm just going to use my cheap scissors, cut what I don't need off. I can always use that wire again. It doesn't want to be cut because it's too late. I often find the wire is a little bit longer, I think, because this stretches a bit. And then all I would do is the same technique here. So I would just push in the inner, pump a bit of glue inside, and then push back all those edges a little bit like a seam on a sewing. And that's it. That's the easy little technique to make little messages, and then you can add little bits of string to them and attach them to the wall, or like we've done here, is then do another shape where like this hay one here is inside a balloon shape. You can also attach them, I've seen, to like frames, so metal frames like circles and hearts and things, whether they be just a metal one or also you have those kind of nice wooden ones, and then you have like a little wreath that you could use in the house. But yeah, those are the top tips really. So it's just a bonsai wire, loads of different options for rope. You'll notice, yes, we've done some little Christmas stocking ones. So again, just thinking of how to do it as a continuous line, because you don't really want to be messing around with multiple parts. We've added some decoration with a bit of wool to our little gingerbread man here. We've added some little pom-poms to this one, so that was quite good fun starting here. And again, just sketching it on a piece of paper first and then following it with the wire. That's the nice 5mm stuff. And then here, got we did 2 holly leaves at once, I think, from memory. So we started here, went round, kind of came back down, did the second one, finished by here, and then added 3 little pom-poms here. So it's a bit crazy to be talking about Christmas, but it does lend itself quite well to Christmassy stuff. So yeah, so do let me know if you have any questions, and apologies if the quality of the video isn't great. Maybe it's the hot weather. But yeah, I'm happy to help with any information that you need afterwards. And I'll be back again on, I think it's July the 11th, rings a bell, to do bucket hats. So that'll be on the sewing machine, and then I'll share a pattern with you. So if you're up for joining me for bucket hats, then do join me then, and I will see you all soon. All right, have a good afternoon. Bye.